Hey, it's Antoine Williams, the eNation YouTube channel, back after a little hiatus. I was busy. I took a trip back home to visit family for my birthday, and I was just working. I got a second job, so I've been working that, and I've been hanging out, playing some board games, playing some video games. I haven't actually gone out in a little bit. I haven't gone out since I've been back. I haven't really gone out to any bars or anything. I've just been working and playing basketball. Um, I was watching one of my old videos, like, man, that video, I enjoyed watching it myself. So I was like, let me get back into it and make another one. I was just going through my saved list of videos. This is the first one that I saw. And at first I was like, maybe I shouldn't even comment on this, but like the more I thought about it and read the comments, I was like, okay, let's talk about it. So, it says, when he's not ready for marriage, but is okay with buying a house or having a child together. Then it says, what about marriage is he not ready for? Don't let your boyfriend, who isn't ready to give you a real commitment, keep you from finding your husband. If he's trying to convince you the next step is to have children, move in together, get a pet together, or any other life-changing decision, but won't marry you, he's trapping you. So he can continue to get the benefits of the relationship, so he can continue to be treated like a husband, so he can have the benefits of your commitment. Buying a house or having children together is not moving the relationship forward. It's trapping you in a faux commitment. Oh, God forbid. So, like, you know what this reminds me of? I don't know if so obviously some people haven't seen Game of Thrones, but in Game of Thrones, um, everyone's low-key trying to tell, in the beginning of the show, Jon Snow, that being on the Night's Watch sucks. They're trying to tell him, but they're not trying to be upfront with it. And then literally something Tyrion says is, or it's either Tyrion or Jaime says to him, well, if you do it and you don't like it, it's only for life. Like, you only gotta do it till you die. Like, if you commit to this and you don't like it, you only have to do it till you die. And in that show, they also have another reference to that. There's a few references, it's low-key references to just making a commitment before you really have all the information. And then realizing later that you don't like that was a mistake, like that it was a mistake to make that commitment, that you shouldn't. In that show, it's funny because a lot of the commitments they make, there's no going back. Like, it's like they agree to it before they know all the information. And then once they have the information, like, oh crap, I shouldn't have done this, but it's too late. Like, you can't leave. Like for example, in the Night's Watch, you can't just quit. If they catch you and you quit, you'll get executed. And like Jaime, he was like on the Kingsguard, and he didn't like it, but you couldn't just, like, it was very difficult for him to pick up and leave because it's like a for life thing. Like, there's a lot of commitment stuff, and this immediately brings that up in my head. It's like, because she's saying like, oh, don't let your boyfriend who isn't ready to give you a real commitment. What's a real commitment? Just because somebody's not marrying you doesn't mean they're not committed. Like, what are they committing to? They're like, well, okay, maybe they're not committing to being with you for the rest of your life. But that's a long ass time. Like, what if? I wish that people could, like, why is it that? Sorry, I'm trying to find a way to bring my words together, because I guess I basically say that my stance on this is, I don't think it's really an issue if you want to have kids and buy a house together without getting married. I don't really have an issue with that. And my reason for that is, like, when you get married, you're committing to something for life, and if you go ahead and get divorced, it's gonna be like extremely difficult. Like, that divorce is gonna be, and I don't think like divorce is as unlikely as people. Like, it's not like, oh, well, you get married and then it's like, oh yeah, you're just gonna be together forever. Like, if you're in your 20s or 30s, do you really know how you're going to feel in your 60s or 70s or even your 50s or even your 40s? You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about long periods of time. Like, you may not want to be with one person that long. Like, if you have kids, you have a commitment to raise those kids to 18. That's an 18-year commitment. That's actually shorter than a man. Like, if you're in your 20s or 30s, you're going to live another 30 years. That's longer than the commitment for the children. If you get a mortgage, it's like a 30-year mortgage, but you can pay that off early, you can get rid of the house. Like, that's not as huge of a commitment as, like, you get married, then have to get divorced. You gotta split everything up. You gotta like go through the courts. You gotta do all this stuff. I don't really think that uh, bringing the government into your relationship is a good idea. Doing it legally, it's just a pain in the ass if it doesn't work out. If it works out, it's fine. But if it doesn't work out, it's a huge pain. If you don't have religion in there to motivate you to like you don't have religious reasons to motivate you to get married, there's really not great motivation to get married because, like I said, the downsides are so much. So yeah, let's go ahead and read these comments because I literally, while I was watching the video, I was reading the comments and I was just like, there was a back and forth and there was some stuff that I was like, wow about. This person said, typically men who don't want to get married to you but want all those things are the ones who plan to end relationships when it's most convenient for them. They know they are not committed to you in the long run, but view your utility as beneficial enough to have kids and a home with. They want someone to raise their kids, take care of them and their homes without any strings attached, until they no longer need it. You may not be wife material to him, but you are mother material for his kids, maid, cook material for his home, and bedworthy enough for his sexual needs. Some men may eventually find someone wife-worthy after years of your commitment to them, but a lot of men with this mentality view women for their utility, and none will ever be wife-worthy enough to marry. I think it's funny how people have so much to say about this. You know, no one ever wants to talk about anything. But you start getting to these topics, everybody knows everything. Everybody's got like all these statements and like things to say. And I guess I would just say like, what would I even say to this? It's just a lot. I'm sorry, it's a lot of information. Like stuff people are saying is a lot to digest. But basically, what I would say to that is, if a guy's having children with you and like you're saying, oh, you're the maid cook, you're doing all this stuff for them, but they have children with you, they live with you, they help pay bills. Like this is really like you're really looking at this as a transaction. It's like they're getting all this stuff out of the relationship, out of the situation, and like, and then they're gonna throw you away like you're a tool. It's like, no, you're in a relationship, you have children, you have a family together. It seems almost like gaslighting. Like you're talking about, well, they haven't made me a wife, they haven't made a commitment to me. They've done all this stuff with you. They're not about to just walk away. Why would they just like if they do walk away? Even if they do walk away, like this is America. I thought we were supposed to be free. If I like, you have to if you have children, you have a responsibility to those children. That's it. That's all you have. Like you don't have a responsibility of this woman. You don't have a responsibility. Like the woman doesn't have a responsibility to the man. The man doesn't have a responsibility to the woman. Like you don't have to continue the relationship. You just have a responsibility to the kids. That's really it. Because you brought them into the world and they're minors, so you have custody of them. You're supposed to you're supposed to take care of them. That's it. But expecting a commitment out of the other person where they're gonna be with you for the rest of your life is actually a little insane. Like just because you're with someone now and they like you and everything's going well, doesn't mean they have to commit to be with you in 20, 30, 40 years. Like, I haven't even been alive that long. That's a long time. And it's just not reasonable. People get tired of each other sometimes. Some people are just like that. It's just like how some people like people of the same gender. Or like, some people want to transition. It's the same thing. Some people just aren't built like that. And just because of that doesn't mean they don't want to have kids. And just because of that doesn't mean they wouldn't be a good parent. It doesn't mean that like that's not something they want to do. They want to bring children into the world. They want to be in a relationship where they live together for a while. But it doesn't mean they should have to be married. Like, why do they have to be married? I guess would be my response to this. Like I said, like you want to you have a responsibility to your kids. You want to create a good situation for them. But that doesn't mean you have to be tied to somebody forever when you're gonna be miserable. Because that's not gonna be good for anybody anyways. But yeah, so some of the people who commented to her comment said, and if she tolerates all this behavior and never requires change, he gets to stay in his content bubble where he doesn't have to change anything or grow up. Ideal situation for one, hell for another. Both at fault. I hate seeing my friends knee deep in this situation. It's very sad for everyone involved, to be honest, especially when you see the mental health behind it. 90% of this behavior from both sides stems from some kind of fear. Yeah, maybe some kind of fear that the person will leave. I don't know. And if she tolerates all this behavior, why would you start a relationship with someone? They're a certain way, and then you now want them to change. This happened to me. I didn't. This happened to me. This didn't happen to me. I guess it kind of happened to me, but I've seen this happen to other people in better examples. I had a friend who, he got with this woman. He's not. He's. I mean, I've known him forever, and we're cool. But he's not like he didn't. He's not really like a scholar. He's not. You know, he graduated high school, but it was a challenge. He wasn't in like normal classes. He actually got put like on like mental disability list where he doesn't really have to work. They'll pay him money every month to just sustain him, and so he's not like. And he said weird things like he's not like cognitively. Sometimes the things he says are kind of off. They just don't make sense. He's a good guy, and I've been friends with him for a long time, and we're cool. But he's just not mentally really there all the way. And this woman was with him, had kids with him. Like they were together for a while. They had twins. They were living together, and then she left him and was saying, "Well, he doesn't do this. He doesn't do that." And I'm listening. I'm like, he never did those things. He was never that person. Why do you start dating someone, have children with them, and then want them to change? I'm like, if a person shows you who they are up front, then you don't have a leg to stand on. If they're lying to you and giving you misinformation and like every detail they're giving you leads you to believe something that's not true, okay, I understand being upset or saying, oh well, they changed. But to say like you want them to change, why would you think that? Why are you going into a situation wanting them to change? That's my thing here. Like you said, and if she just tolerates all this behavior and never requires change, he gets to stay in his content bubble where he doesn't have to change. He doesn't have anything to grow up. He doesn't have to change. He doesn't have to grow up. Like my stepdad was saying the same thing. Like I was saying something about growing up, and he was like, "Guys don't grow up. We just get older, but we don't grow up. We are who we are." I'm like, yeah, like, it's kind of true. Like people, guys at their core, they kind of do stay the same. Like they might mature in some ways, but a lot of things people like guys like prefer or the way they are, like the way they live, doesn't. I'm in my 30s and things I enjoy haven't really changed much. But yeah, the next person said, wrong. You know nothing about men. Here's how you judge his commitment level. You watch his actions. If he's done all the things a husband does, he's a husband. The only benefit that comes with a state contract called marriage is the woman's claim to half, even though she didn't help earn it. It only benefits y'all. Okay. This is what I saw before I started the video that I was like, interesting. I didn't fully think about it because I wasn't gonna wait for the video to be running. But I think I like the first part of what I like a lot of what he said here. He said, here's how you judge commitment level. You watch his actions. It's like he's done all the things a husband does, he's a husband. It's kind of true because that's what throws me off about the original comment that she made. She's saying like, well, they're doing all this stuff, but they're not fully committed. It's like, but like he's getting all these benefits, but you're not getting the benefits. Like, why do you need the marriage? It's like he's there, he's paying, he's helping contribute to the children, he's helping raise the children. Like you guys are working together. Oh, he's not fully committed. Like that sounds. It sounds like gaslighting. Like you want exactly what he's saying. Like the marriage doesn't actually benefit him. You're trying to gaslight him and shame him into doing it. That's what it sounds like. And that's kind of what he said here. And he pointed out the only benefit that comes from the state contract called marriage is the woman's claim to half, even though she didn't help earn it. It only benefits y'all. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to find a way to formulate my sentence, in my opinion on this. I mean, if a man and woman are, if the man is working and the woman's raising the children and living in the house and not really working, is she, like, that is an old thing. That's where this came from. Where this came from, like marriage and getting half and everything. It's like, that all came from back when the guy would work, the woman wouldn't, and then the guy would leave and the woman would be left with nothing with the children and they would be screwed. Now, if with marriage, if a guy leaves, the woman gets half of everything, like they split the house, they split everything, and then he also pays child support, so she wouldn't end up screwed. Am I against that? I guess in a way I'm against it because we're in 2024. Both people can work, and in most families, both people do work. So it doesn't really make logical. So like, and you don't. It's a complicated issue. It is definitely a complicated issue because you do have to figure out like when there's divorce, how, or even when there's a. Let's say you have children in a house. Even if you're not married, you still got to figure out how are you going to split up the house? How are you going to split up these things that you have? Your lives become kind of tangled together. So it is a complex issue. But I would say that bringing the courts into it won't make it any less complex, and it won't make it any more fair. Like, there's already so many stories of guys getting screwed over when it comes to the courts. So I would just say, yeah, there's definitely no benefit for a guy to get married, and until there is, you can't really be mad at guys and try to like you can't. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but gaslighting people and shaming them for and saying, oh well, they're just getting all the benefits without doing any of the costs, like that's not really gonna convince anyone. You see, it's literally confusing me reading it because it doesn't work. It like this type of conversation doesn't work, and that's why like it bothered me since I seen it. Because I'm like, look at these long sentences and all these statements. Like they're really writing a freaking narrative about this, and they're making it something bigger than it is. And basically, I think that this whole system doesn't work with the whole marriage thing because, like, we're people. Like, the way I was 5, 10 years ago, I'm different now. People change over time as far as what they want and how they feel about things. And expecting someone to commit to something for 40, 50 years, like, is insane. Even children, you don't, like, you raise them for 18. You don't raise them, even loans, stuff like that, you don't always hold them that long. And people don't always want to hold things that long. People, then what's the point in making people miserable? What's the point in being miserable together? You know what I mean? What's the point in committing to be miserable together? There's no point. It doesn't benefit anyone. And I would say this is a complex issue, and I think these people should stop acting like they know, like they're kind of ignoring everyone else's feelings, just saying, well, I want this, and this is what people should do. I think they should definitely look at the issue a little bit more. But yeah, I chose a difficult one to come back to. But yeah, the date is October 10th. I mean, it's October 9th, 2024. I'm definitely going to try to get back into these, make some more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.